Hello everyone, very good morning. Good morning Sagar, Samir, Shweta, Kalpana, Jayashree, Manigandan. Very good morning everyone. Good morning Hasani. Very good morning everyone. So, good morning Lokita, and good morning all, and good evening to others joining from other locations. Very good morning, guys. So, friends, today we will start with the later part of this. So, are you all able to hear me well, or are you getting any echo there? Okay, that's fine. Okay, friends, thank you. So we shall start with the problem solving of level of detail expressions. So as I told you yesterday, level of detail expressions are used for performing complex calculations. So for which the normal calculations what we can do, it cannot resolve that problems. So we will be using something called level of detail for them. Okay. So now moving on with the examples what we have seen. So the first example what we saw yesterday was something on just to find the number of customers who have placed number of orders. So that is where we started with for LOD example. Today we will move on and continue with other examples where you would know the LOD problem even better, level of detail expressions. You will understand them even better. So, hope you all had a look at the link what I shared yesterday, and how many of you saw that and how many of you didn't. Okay, so yeah, so most of you have gone through the link, and some of you are saying it will take more time to understand. Yeah, no problem. So for understanding that even better, that's why we have many problems to solve. So don't worry, Sagar, we will solve all the problems and we'll get through. So for now, at least you all know the syntax of using when to use the exclude, when to use include, or when to use the fixed. I think that part you are all clear with. So I don't think it should be a problem for you to understand it further. So I think I'll make you to understand the remaining things. Okay. So next one we will go to the example number 5. Okay. We'll jump in directly to example number 5 because there is a sequence of questions. So after I finish 5, I think I will come to 2 and then we'll cover the remaining because there is a logical sequence flow which is there. So between that examples, and they are somewhat similar in nature also. So Kanya is asking, is tomorrow the last class? No, Kanya, I don't think tomorrow would be the last class. The reason is we have 2 more modules to go. So we haven't done with those 2 modules yet. So it's not possible to have tomorrow to be the last class. So next week we may have to extend for 1 or 2 days. Okay. So the last module will not take much time, but the only problem with the last module is just wanted to explain you that it should take another 1 hour time, 1 or 2 hours time at least for the last module, and for the next module it will take 2 days, that is 4 hours. So I am estimating at least 3 to 4 extra classes we should be having. Correct. So after I'm done with this week's class, I will ask the Edureka people to send you a new link to join on from Monday, so that we are working there. Yeah. Okay. No worries. So now, friends, this is the example what I want you all to think about. See here, what percentage of customers made a second purchase within 6 months of their first purchase? So this question is something unique. Yesterday, many of you were asking me what business scenarios to use this, and when to use this level of detail expressions and when not to use this. So many of you were asking me that. So I believe especially it was Manigandan. So if you are there, Manigandan, good morning. And so this is the business scenario what you wanted to use it there. So whenever you are having the level of detail expression, so if you see this particular part, so what percentage of customers made a second purchase within 6 months of the first? Okay. So here, friends, in a person coming from SQL background, how would you do this? So what query you would write? SQL or an Oracle background, what kind of query you would be using for this? So here, it's like I'm going to Amazon and I made a purchase once, and what percentage of customers made a second purchase within the 6 months of the first? So I would like to know what percentage of the customers made a second purchase there within the first 6 months. So how would you do that, friends? Any idea, suggestions? This is what we can do. I'm just giving you a minute's time. Okay, Lal is suggesting this. First, give the rank of order for each customer. Take the difference between the first and the second order. Count the number of percentage. Count the number of percentages. And we take order date and customer name. Yeah, Samir, that's right. So select the customers where Shweta is saying select the customers where count of orders is greater than 2 and the difference of orders is less than 6 months. Then compute the percentage using a subquery. Okay, so for this we might have to use the window function in Oracle or SQL. That is, we might have to use maybe I believe we might have to use dense rank or a row num there. So after taking the dense rank, what we will do is you need to order those items first based on what is the first order, what is the second order. Based on the customer name, we might have to partition by the customer name and take it, and after that we might have to find that. So here first we'll have to find it out. So here what are the steps that we are going to follow? So don't worry if you are not understanding. I was just saying that in terms of Oracle and SQL. People who are using Oracle and SQL advanced queries, they might know this. Okay. So what are the things that is involved in the steps? These are the things that we need to do here. So the first thing, we need to compute the first order date. Okay. So when was my first order date? And next one is I need to compute my second order date. And third is I need to find the difference between my first order date and second order date. If it is less than 6 months, okay, and am I making a repeated purchase? Then I need to confirm this. If I am making a repeated purchase, and I need to find the percentage of customers for which above conditions are true. So these are the steps, friends, what I should do. Are you all clear? Are you all getting what I am saying here? So these are the steps. Everyone, Sagar, Kalpana, Jayashri, Manigandan, everyone, are you getting this? Prashakti? Okay. Okay. So this is the steps what we need to, okay, thank you. Repeat purchase means the same item or, okay. So repeat purchase here, what it means is, friends. So I'm going to Amazon for first time. Okay. So I'm again going within next month itself. I'm just going, as the service was good, I'm just going again for the same order. Not the same order, maybe a different item I'm purchasing. From Amazon itself I'm going again. So that we call them as repeat purchase. That means you are trusting them more. So basically companies evaluate these factors, and this is a very important interview question. If someone is asking you like how to find the second purchase or the third purchase from this, how will you do it in Tableau? That is a very important advanced interview question. Okay, friends, are you all fine with that? Okay. So now we are going to perform the steps. So I need to find the first order here. Okay. So for that, what I'm doing is, first thing what I will be doing is, so I need to find the first order date. So I'm just connecting to Global Superstore. Okay, I'm just connecting the sample superstore for this example, friends. Okay, I'm just connecting the sample superstore. Okay, so here, what are the fields that I'm going to take? I'm just going to take my customer ID. So I'm going to get the order date. Sorry, it is not the order ID, it is the customer ID. And it's going to be the order date. So this is going to be the order date. Whenever you are bringing your order date here, I'm just changing it to the exact date. And then I'm making it as discrete field. So that I'm getting my order date. Okay. So what is happening here, friends? How would I get my minimum of, or how will I get my first order date? What query I can use? So Manigandan, here for your question, when we use this business scenario, if I'm directly using my minimum of order date, assume that this order date example I have taken, okay? So here I am going to create a calculation. I'm going to create a calculated field. Here, if you see, so assume that it's first order date. Okay. First order date. So what I can use here, can I use minimum? So if I'm using minimum function here in order to get my first order date, I'm clicking on OK here, friends. Okay. First order date I'm just going to take now. I'll be taking it and dropping it here. What is happening here? When I'm taking my first order date directly, what is happening here? It is computing my first order date for every row. It's computing my first order date for each and every row here, friends. My first order date is being retrieved for each and every row once. That's why I'm getting the minimum. This is the minimum order date in this row. So this is just giving me the first order date. Similarly, this is the minimum. It's giving me the same date again. So now do you understand why we need a LOD expression here? Are you getting my point? Why we require actually an LOD function here? If I am using it directly as minimum of order date, will I be able to get that? Now you tell me, friends, what query I can use here to get my first order date? Yes. So that's why I told you, friends, yesterday that I would like you all to understand that concept first. Then we can go forward with the other things like in terms of introducing to the business scenarios. First, you should understand how to perform the calculation. Then we'll know like why to perform it. Okay. Okay. So this is fine, friends. So this is what I wanted you to understand first. Okay. And now what I will be going to do in order to compute my first of order date, what we will do, I'm just right clicking here, clicking on this edit. I'm going to use this minimum of order date only. However, I will be using my LOD expression here. I will be using my LOD expression fixed. So on basis of what I need to fix this, you fix it based on my customer ID. You fix it based on my customer ID and get me the minimum of order date. Based on the customer ID, you fix this and get me the minimum of order date. This is what I need to do. So here, what am I going to do? The first order date, if I see, this is what it is going to tell. So I just need to recompute that once again. I'm changing here to exact date. I'm changing it to a discrete value. Now can you see, based on my customer ID, my minimum first order date has been computed. Based on my customer ID, my first minimum of order date has been computed. This is based on my individual customer IDs. Okay, so this is going to be my first thing there. So now everyone are getting this, friends, how this is working. Now tell me how to get my second order date. How to get my second order date? That is this one. This is my second order date. How to get this one? Okay. So yeah, again we have to use the fixed expression, but how to find out that is going to be my second order date? Exactly, Hasini. So Asini and Kanya are saying order date which is greater than the first order date, minimum order date which is greater than the first order date. So friends, for others who haven't done this calculation, I'm just singing you this so that you can all apply this calculation at your side. So here we go. This is the first order date. Yeah. So this is the calculation for doing the first order date, friends. Okay. Now I have done my first order date. Okay. Now I need to compute my second order date. How to do that? So, okay, let me check this calculation. Yeah, Samir, that's right. The order date, why it is getting repeated here is because for each and every individual row we have one particular minimum of order date, right? So that's why we have a repeated value here. So in order to not make it repeated, we may have to remove the previous value. I'll show you that in a while. And actually that is the right exact calculation what we need to use here. That's right. So here I am going to compute for second order date. Okay. So for the second order date, friends, what are we going to do? I need to check first one condition. If my order date is going to be greater than my first order date. If my order date is going to be greater than my first order date, then I'm going to say it is order date. I'm going to say it is order date and end this. So what am I doing here? I'm checking for the order date which is greater than my first order date. Okay. First order date. In that case, if it is greater than my first order date, if my order date is greater than my first order date, then I am saying it is my order date. Okay. So greater than my first order date, in that case it is going to be my order date. Okay, so this is the calculation what I am going to use here. So when I am taking this, you see what is the result I am getting. So this is going to be the calculation what I will be using for my second order date. If I am just dropping it over here, I am just making it as exact date. Okay, minimum of order date greater than the first order date, Hasani is saying, won't give order IDs, all order IDs greater than first, second and third. Yeah, that's right, Hasani. It has to be the minimum. First, I wanted to show you how you should not do this calculation. So that's why I wanted to put this calculation there. Next, I'll show you the one what we should use. Okay. So, friends, if you carefully observe this, can you see what is happening here? So again, this particular thing, the second order date, it is actually getting me my second order date, that's right. So since this is not greater, it has written null. Okay. If it is greater, my second order date it is considering for each and every row. And it is getting repeating that here. In order to solve this problem, again we have to use what expression? In order to solve this, we need to again use a fixed LOD. Aren't we supposed to use that? So, for the second order date, what we are computing, I'm going to write, so I'm going to write a fixed LOD expression here. Okay. So, what am I going to do in this fixed LOD expression? I'm going to open a LOD expression. I'm going to give fixed of, based on my customer ID, you fix it and you use this calculation. However, here I need to use any of the aggregate calculations since I cannot directly use this calculation. Because with the LOD expression, you should have an aggregate calculation added. So without which this will not work, right? So without which this will not work. So I'm just entering my if condition once again because it was okay. Now you see what happens now. So here you need to open up a bracket, okay, and I had to close a bracket. So here in this condition, what I am going to give is, friends, so if I am directly giving this, this will say my calculation contains an error. If you see what this error is, I am just scrolling over that error to see what that error is. Expected curly brace for the following expression, okay. So I am just writing a curly brace at the end. So we have it here and it's here. Okay. So now I have it added, and again it's throwing an error. Result of level of detail expression must be an aggregate, which means this part it has to be an aggregate, unless until it will not work. So we will apply the same function what we used in the first order date, we will apply the same aggregate here. That is the main. And this is the entire query what we are going to use it here. And you see now is it bringing my second order date? So what I am saying, I am taking the minimum of order date, and that minimum of order date should be greater than my first order date. So this is the query, friends, for second order date what I have pinged you. So here I am fixing it based on my customer ID. We are taking minimum of order date, but that order date has to be greater than my first order date. So that is one thing you all should remember. So the second order date, whatever you are doing, that should be greater than my first, however it should be minimum. So what it does basically, it leaves this particular order date and it checks for all the order dates, remaining all order dates. So in those 4 order dates, which is the minimum, it just takes it and displays it. Are you all understanding the second order date queries? Everyone? Are you all getting that? Okay. Samir is getting, Jayashri is getting, Love has got it. How about others? Kalpana, Manigandan, Prajati. So Hasini got it already. Yeah, Lokita got it. Okay. I'll just repeat it again, not an issue. So, what the second order date is going to do? See here, I'm having 4 values, friends. Let me take this example itself, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Assume I'm having these 4 dates, friends, okay. Okay, so these are the values what I am having. Customer ID, the first order date, okay, I'll just type it manually. Okay. So the first order date here, assume like it is 3, so 310, sorry, 322017. Second order date 31 3 2017. Third order date would be 12 4 2017. Okay. So I have 3 order dates here. So what is the query to get minimum of order date? I'll be using min of order date. So min of this particular column, assume that this column name is order date. Okay. I'll be taking the minimum of order date to get my first order date. This part you understood, okay? Now to get my second order date, what I should do? So my second order date should be greater than my first order date, okay? And after it is greater than my first order date, it should be the minimum from the next value. So I am saying my second order date should be greater than my first order date. Should be greater than my first order date, and moreover should be greater than my first order date, and if there are other values. So what are the, when I am writing a query like this, should be greater than my first order date, what would be the result, friends? So greater than my first order date, what will be the output? Friends, those who have worked in SQL should know this. What will be the output? Greater than my first order date, what would be the output? Won't this be the output? If I am writing a SQL query, start from this orders table where my order ID is greater than my first order date. If I am giving that, won't my query give this result of 2 order dates? Exactly. Others greater than the first order date. That's right, Kalpana. Correct. So for me the first order date is 3/2/2017. So this value is fixed. So whatever value which is greater than this 3/2/2017, everything is going to get displayed. So whatever is greater than my first order date, so this would be my result. Okay. So in this result, what I wanted is, I wanted minimum of order date. So I got this result. So in this result, I would like to get minimum of order date. So what is the minimum of order date in this result alone, friends? Kalpana, can you tell what would be the minimum of order date in this result? Yeah, it's 31/3/2017. That is the second one. Correct. So now what happens? This becomes my second order date. This becomes my second order date. Okay. So like now what happens? This becomes my second order date. So this is what exactly the query, whatever I have written, that is also doing. If you see the query, what I just pinged you, friends, this is what it is doing. So first thing, it is fixing it based on my customer ID and it is getting minimum of order date from this result. From this result, it is getting me the minimum of order date. So that's why I have used the min function here. Is this clear, everyone? Okay. So how about you, Manikandan? Are you fine with this? Are you understanding what I am saying? Manikandan, if you are there, are you? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay, friends. So this is what is the result that we are getting it after we execute this query. Okay. Now moving on. So I got my first order date, my second order date also I got. Now what I need to do, friends? What is the third step? How would I know if it is less than 6 months purchase or not? So what calculation I can create, friends? I need to find the difference between these 2 days, correct? So what is the date function I can use? Date diff. Exactly, Shweta. That's right. So I need to use a date function called date diff, which you all have used. That's right, Kalpana, Samir. That's perfect. Okay. So here, what I would be doing is, I'll be creating a calculated field. So in the calculated field, I'm going to write a calculation here, okay, wherein my difference between my first one and second one, I need to mention it here. Okay, so for which what I can write is, I'll be writing a date diff function. What is the syntax of a date diff? First you get me the date part. So the difference here, in what format I need to get the difference here? So I need to get it in month level, right? So I'm going to give, I need the difference in month, okay? And what is that I need to get the difference between? I would like to get the difference between my first order date. I would like to get the difference between my first order date and my second order date. I would like to get that. So I would like to get the records whose, correct, exactly, it is the first and the second I am giving. So I am going to get the difference between my first order date and my second order date in terms of months. So here what it will do, So I'm going to write a if condition here. If my difference between my first order days and the second order days is greater than or equal to 6, then I'm going to say it is more than 6 months. Else if the same thing I'm going to use, the same calculation, friends. If it is less than or equal to 6. So if it is greater than 6, or if it is less than or equal to 6, then I can say that as less than 6 months. Else, I can say that as no second purchase. And I am going to end this. Are you all getting this condition, friends? For your clarity, I am just copying it and giving that to you once again. I am just showing that to you once again. So this is the condition, friends. What I am checking the date difference in between my first order date and my second order date. And if that date purchase is greater than 6, then more than 6 months. Else if my date purchase is less than or equal to 6, then less than 6 months, or no second purchase. Is this clear, friends? Are you all getting this? Okay. So how about others, friends, everyone? Are you all able to get this? I'm just sending this query to everyone. You just have a look. Okay. Okay. So this is the query what I'm writing for my second purchase. So repeat purchase. This is the query what I am giving for repeat purchase. Okay. So I'm going to click on OK here. Okay. So now for this repeat purchase, whatever I have done, if you see, I'm just adding this to this field as well. And you see here, it is basically giving me my difference if it is, for this order it is less than 6 months, less than 6 months, less than 6 months. And somewhere it is more than 6 months. And there is no second purchase, that there is no possibility that there is no purchase, second purchase itself. So for all order IDs, we are able to get this. Okay. So now what I will do, I will just clear off this view. I am just clearing this view. I will take this customer ID and drop it to columns. Take this customer ID, dropping it to the columns. And this repeat purchase, So this repeat purchase, I'm just taking it and dropping it in the rows. Okay. I'm basically dropping in maybe my sales or something for each and every order. Yes. Yeah, Samir. Here we can apply the same thing in the filter as well, Samir. That's right. There is an error. So Sagar is saying he is not getting the formula what I have sent. Which one, Sagar? All three or only this? You are not getting or you are not understanding it, Sagar? Okay, I have just pinged you once again. See if you are getting that formula now. Okay, Sagar, I didn't get your question. So what is that you wanted? You want me to explain this formula, or you are not, this query itself you are not getting it, in terms like you are not understanding this query? Friends, how about you all? Are you, no, the formula pasted is showing syntax error? Okay, is it showing the syntax error? It should not actually, so this is the same formula. One moment, I'm just checking this repeat purchase formula. So I'm just editing it. See if you have missed anything there. What is the syntax error that you are getting, Sagar? What error are you getting? So I'm just pasting it once again. This is the same. Okay, I'll make you as a presenter. You can share your screen. Okay. Have you also created the first order date and the second order date with the same name, Sagar? For example, in this formula, what I am using is, I have given two names. The first order date I have used this name. Second order date I have used this name. Check if you have created your first order date and second order date also along with the same name. If the name is different, then you might get this error. Yeah. So maybe an issue should be there for you in the first order date and second order date. You see if you have created that, because I pasted you the formula only. I didn't give you the name. So there is a possibility that you might have given a separate name. So in that case you might have to change. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Okay, friends. So this is what the first order date and the second order date. Now what I need to know is, I need to know what percentage of customers are doing a repeated purchase. So for showing that, friends, I'm just removing the sales from here. So what percentage of customers are doing a repeat purchase? I'm going to the measure, and maybe I just need to repeat purchase. What I'm changing, I'm just changing it as a measures, convert to measure. Okay. So repeat purchase, I'm just removing it from here, friends, and I'm converting it as a measure. And after I just convert this as a measure, I'm just right clicking here, going to a quick table calculation, and I'm saying percentage of total. So and I'm just adding this repeat purchase to colors. So here I would know like who are the customers who are there within that second order date and what percentage it is. Either I can just make this repeat purchase, whatever things what I have made here is this repeat purchase bin. I'll be just putting it in the filters also. Either way you can just do that. So all values I'm giving. Less than 6 months, more than, no second purchase. All three would be here. So you can just see that in the filters. So based on this filters, you can be adding it in the filters also, friends. So you can just show them. So less than 6 months, who are the customers who have made the orders? More than 6 months who have made the orders? Or no second purchase at all, who are the customers? So these many customers have not made any second purchases. So based on this, you can come out with your own understanding of this. So that would be like something. So no second purchase are these many customers who haven't made any purchases at all. And I'm just changing the visualization, repeat purchase and customers. More than 6 months is these, less than 6 months is this. So you can just use it for comparing purpose also. So you can just drag and drop this repeat purchase in colors so that three different things have different colors there, and you can just use that. Are you all getting me, friends? Everyone? So now you can add it in colors. Repeat purchase, you can just drop it in colors so that it's coming with the different colors. So less than 6 months, greater than 6 months, and no second purchase. Okay, friends. So this is what I wanted you all to understand about the level of detail expressions. So this is one important, a very important thing what you all should know about the level of detail expression. Okay. So hope this is clear for you all. Okay. So okay, I'm just going to so fixed of customer ID. This is what they are doing. They are first taking the fixed of customer ID, finding the first order date, and then making it discrete to show you the data, and then they are going to the second order date, finding the second order date, and then dragging the second order date to the row, and then making it like this, and finally they are computing the month. It's greater than equal to 6, then it is more than 6 months, less than 6 months. And finally they are putting that in the view and showing us the data. Yeah, it seems like, so this is what the final view what they have done. So it is like sum of month of second order date, customer ID, everything they have taken, and they are just showing us the details. And we are taking the count distinct of customers, so to see like what percentage of customers have made the repeated purchases. Okay. So did you all get that, friends? So that was one example to show you when to use this LOD expression. Next is something called cohort analysis. Okay. So, so this is very similar to our previous example. This is very similar to our previous example. The only thing to show here is how many customers are coming back to you. So in order to know that how many of the customers are coming back to you, we are performing something called cohort analysis here. Okay. So what is cohort analysis is going to do? So what is the revenue contributed by each and every customer individually? So what is the percentage of revenue that the customers are contributing individually? So that's what this cohort analysis is going to help you out. Okay. So what percentage is contributed by individual customer cohort? So in order to do this, friends, what we need to do is, first what we need to know is we need a group of people with the same characteristics. So we should know, like, this is very similar to the previous example. We will be taking when was your first customer. So I will just show you this first. So first you need to know, like, when did your first customer purchase something from you. Okay. So the output of this should look like something like this, friends. Okay. Is there a scenario where I have to subtract the first order date with the 5th or 10th order date? Okay. So in order to perform the 10th order date, Shweta, so what we can do that is, in order to get the 10th order date, so in certain scenarios where you might have to get it like that place on a 10th order date or those things, I would prefer you create a calculation in your SQL itself. So the SQL queries or the Oracle queries or your database, whatever you are using it, it's better to create it there. But for finding the 5th or 10th order date, maybe in Tableau it's slightly complicated. I can just check on that and come back to you for that data. So, but I would prefer you to do that in the SQL level itself, because here performing the 10th order date, if you see, like, what was the difference between my first and 10th order date. So, but on what scenario you would like to have that first and 10th order date? So maybe the first and 10th means you can just take a maximum order date and see, like, if you have a number to that. So maybe I would prefer you using a rank there. So there is a rank function which is available. So from that rank function, you apply a rank and then get the first order date and 10th order date, and then compute the difference between both. Maybe using a rank, I think we can get that. There is a function called rank function here, Shweta. So if you see, there is something called, in a calculation itself, you can make use of something called rank function there. So this customer ID field, whatever you are saying, you can just right click here and click on create a calculated field. So you can rank the customer ID based on something there. So there is a rank function that is available. So you have rank, dense rank and rank modified. So you can use any one of these functions here. So you see what it does. It is basically going to have the expressions, return the dense rank of the current row in the partition identical to the assigned value. So example, dense rank, the sum of sales, like that you can make use of these functions there. If at all you have more complex calculations, you can make use of this. This should help you. Okay, can we use a rank with LOD? No, a rank cannot be used with an LOD expression. So first you create a rank and you keep it as a separate calculation. And then from that rank, you just write a if statement alone. If my rank is equal to 10, then you get me the order date. You write a if statement on top of that. And after writing that if statement, with that result, you find the difference. You got what I am saying? You first find the rank and you write a if condition, what we did for greater than 6 months. You just put it as 10 and you let me know the query, Shweta, after you are done there. Let's see that. Okay. If time permits, I will also work on that and I'll get you the query if you are not getting it. Okay. Fine. So, friends, the next one is the output of the second analysis is going to be very similar to my first. So that's why I just told you. So these many customers, these are the new customers who had come in the year 2011 for me. So I would like to know how many new customers came in 2012 and how many of my old customers I have retained them. So each and every color is for a customer name based on the market here. So in the market EMEA, I am taking my order date and sum of sales. Okay. So I am taking my market, and based on my market I am checking on how many of the customers are returning back to me for various years. So how to do this, friends? This is very similar to the one what we saw now. We just need to perform the same calculation, just the visual alone changes here. Okay. Are you all getting the question, friends? Any doubts? Yes. So this cohort analysis is nothing but, friends, how many of your customers are returning back to you. In order to determine that, we use something called cohort analysis. Okay. So what this cohort analysis is going to do, it's basically going to tell me how many of the customers. So these are the customers in this region. Basically, like sum of sales, what we are seeing here. Can you see this? These are the customers who have been acquired in 2011. So these are the new customers who came in 2011. Okay. So if you see in 2012, the number of new customers whom I have retained in 2011 to 2012 is minimal. I have added new customers only. But however, I have not retained my old customers. That means there is a problem. Correct. It is mostly related to business development, Sagar. That's right. So, how many of the customers I was able to retain and how many I was not able to retain? So, for that, here what we are using is we are just using a same LOD expression. So, we are just using the order date and the shipment. Okay, and basically I am creating a calculation here. So, why I am creating calculation is to know like how many of the are new customers for me. So for example, when I am fixing it based on my customer ID, I would say on June 2008, 2011, I got this customer and this customer has made these many orders for me. It's very similar to our this analysis, but this we call them as cohort analysis. Okay, so how many of them we are able to retain? That's what we are going to see it in this example. Okay, so this is what the customer cohort. So you got the scenario what I need to find, what we are supposed to do. Okay. So hope this is clear for you also. Manikandan, are you getting where and all to use this LOD, level of detail? Okay. Okay, friends. So this is what it is. Now what I will do, I will just create if my customer is going to be my repeated customer or not. So I will take my customer ID. I will take his. I'll take the customer ID and order date or what they have taken. Customer ID, order date. Okay. So I'm taking the order date, customer ID. Based on the customer ID, I'm taking the order date. It's similar to the previous one. I'm just making it exact and exact date, and I'm just going here and making it as this three. Okay. So now I would like to know when this customer has made the first order and basically till when he has continued this order. So for this I'm going to create a LOD expression, what you all know. is going to be a similar LOD expression there. LOD acquisition. Customer acquisition. Okay. So here what I'm going to do, I'm going to write a fixed LOD expression. So this is very similar to the one what we saw earlier. In this fixed LOD expression, I'm going to take minimum of my order date. This is the same example, friends. So that's why I just had this in the sequence. We just jumped into fifth and then to this. Okay. So customer acquisition I created. Okay. So if you see this, this is going to tell me when my customer basically entered into contract with me. So when did we have the first purchase and then I am just continuing that purchase or not. So it is just going to give me that particular data. Okay, and after showing it, I just need to convert it into discrete. Okay, so this customer had come to me in the year 2013, friend. Okay, now my question is, my scenario is, so what I'm going to take, I'm just going to take this order ID in year of order date. I wanted to know which year this particular customer had come, so I'm just making it as year of order date. Okay, and was I able to retain this customer or not? So year of order date in rows I'm adding. I'm going to say the sum of sales in columns. I'm just adding sum of sales in the columns. Okay. So here this is what first we do. We take the year of order date and sum of sales we are taken. Okay. And so now what I will do, I am just removing this customer ID. Okay, so this is what I have done, friends. So I think this is what they have also used here in this module. Okay, so the customer acquisition LOD is very similar LOD expression, Shantanu, what we were using it for the previous one. So this is the same. In fact, this is one and the same. There is no change between that. So it is, you are fixing the customer ID and getting the minimum of order date. This is one and the same as the previous example, Shantanu. So this is the, so that's why I didn't ping you this. So this is the calculation, friends. This is one and the same as we used the previous example. So we can make use of the same. Okay. So now what we will do is, now we have taken these two. So now let's create a visual which is similar in nature there. Okay. So we just created this customer acquisition date. Okay. And now what are we doing? So we are taking this year of order date, year of customer acquisition date alone. Okay. So this customer acquisition date, friends, what field, what we are having it over here, I'm just going to take the year alone of this. So here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the year of this customer acquisition date again. Okay. And I'm going to take this year of customer acquisition date and drop it in my colors. Okay, and what I'm doing next, maybe if required, I think I don't require the customer ID as per the visual. So year of customer acquisition date, I have put it in color, and maybe I have a segment here added. So market field I have just added it in the filter. So I don't require the customer ID. So I'm just removing the customer ID. And I'm going to change this graph to a bar graph and to something like this. Okay. So as soon as I change that, can you see? I just changed this graph to a new graph there. That is a stacked bar. Now in the stacked bars, what is this showing, friends? It's basically showing me this is my new customer. The sale is this much. On the second year, the same customer sales has dropped, and I have added new customers. So this new customer is getting indicated by this year, and next year, even that sales is 454,215. There is a slight improvement. And I have added few more new customers here in this segment. So here it is 533,718. So basically I have retained my customers from previous year to next year. So the color here indicates that they are new customers here, friends. So here each and every year what color what we are seeing it in this year is basically nothing but our customer ID is there. Because we just put the customer ID, right? We are fixing the customer ID based on the minimum order date. So I'm seeing this particular customer ID, I'm able to retain him for these many months, and I'm basically improving the sales year over year. See, year of customer acquisition is 2013, year of order date is 2016. So from 2013 until 2016, I was able to retain these customers. I'm able to retain them as I'm doing that. Are you getting this, friends? This color indicates that I have acquired this customer in the year 2014 and the order date is 2014. And this point of customers, I'm saying like year of order date is 2015, I have made 99,455. The sales has reduced and it has increased in 2016. So I'm seeing a positive trend here because I'm able to retain my old customers and also I'm able to acquire new customers. That is important for a business trend. So this analysis is very much important when you are the MD or your CEO of a company wants to know how many of the customers we have retained it from last year to till this year. See, we are able to get that using a very simple LOD expression. Okay? Are you all fine with this, friends? Are you all getting me? Okay, so most of you have understood this. So I'll just repeat the last part alone. So last part alone is how to add this particular thing, Manikanda. Okay, so what I'm doing is here I just took this our LOD example. I just took this LOD example, and then I took this minimum of order date from here based on my customer ID. So each and every customer ID, what I am able to see that it takes me as a separate data there. Okay. So now what I am doing, sure friends, what I will do is I will publish this workbook instead. Okay. So I will publish this workbook in public.tableau.com. You all can download it from there. So there are other workbooks also. Whatever I am doing, I will just publish those workbooks in public.tableau.com. Okay. Okay. So here, what I'm doing, I'm just taking the customer. So each and every color here, Manikandan, indicates that is the old customer here. So for example, blue is the customer. If you see my tooltip there, year of customer acquisition is 2013. Year of order date is 2013 for this customer. So I'm able to see that this customer, I'm able to retain him from start until end. And compared to my start, at my end, I was able to improve my sales. That means I am basically improving my business also along with it. So that is what I am able to show you here using this visual. Similarly, this is the customer what we have acquired in the year 2014, and we are able to retain them and also improve the sales year over year. That is one more thing. And this is very important for us, friends, in order to make big decisions in a company. Are we doing well or not? Not only in terms of your profit, you can determine that. You should be determining that based on this customer cohort also. So based on this, if I'm just adding a segment here as a filter, so I'm just adding a segment filter. I'm taking the segment, dropping it in the filters and dropping it here. So I would like to see it in consumer segment how I'm doing. Can you see here? By segment wise I can see that. This is the consumer segment in 2013. This was my sales. I had some new customers and I improved my sales, and finally it is even more. So I can just add some filters also to this report to make it more dynamic. I can just see by the segment wise how I have done, how I have performed well or not. On a home office segment, how I'm doing. Okay. So this is the cohort analysis, customer cohort analysis. Okay. And the next one, what we will be doing is we will take the problem number 3 here. So that is also a similar problem to this. So that's why I told this module is full of problems, friends, and we are going to understand the business scenarios of this particular LOD expression, how we are going to use that. How we are using this level of detail expression. So we'll use this. Okay. So there is one more question here, friends. This is the next question. Okay, not this one. I think it is the second one. So this part, I think we saw that already. Count the customers by the number of orders what we made. We saw this example yesterday, friends. How many customers made how many orders. Now we will go to the use case number 2. So we are done with 5. We are done with 6. We are done with 1. Now 2, 3 and 4 we need to do. Okay. So now you are going to answer me because I have given you enough inputs on what to do. Now you should tell me how to do things. Okay? So since it was a difficult module, I had to take it up most of the parts, and I didn't want you to struggle with that. I know it is difficult to understand. So that's why I didn't ask you to work it out as an example, because I know it would be difficult for you to do that by yourself. Okay, so that you can do it with me. Okay? So here I want to measure our success by profit per business day rather than profit per transaction. First, tell me what do you understand by this question. Friends, if you all need a break, you can go for a break for 5 minutes time and come back again. If you will all like to have a break, please go ahead, friends. I'll just wait for 5 more minutes and come. Or if you want me to continue, I can continue. Yeah, friends. Please come by 8:30. Now it is 8:26. Uh, okay, friends, I think we can start again if you are all ready. Okay, friends. So now we saw that. So now tell me what I can use it for here. So I want to measure our business success by profit per business day rather than profit per transaction. So here I would like to know my profit that is earned per business day rather than profit by transaction. For example, assume that I am having this order ID and I am putting the profits here. Okay, so instead of saying it's profit per transaction, okay, so Samir has an answer, it's fixed of order days with sum of profit. Okay, Hasini has returned the expression nicely, it is fixed of order days with the sum of profit. Okay, so how about others, friends, what do you feel? What we need to do for this question? Okay, Manigandan is saying it's profit per order days he did. Not sure if it's right. Yeah. Sum of order days, is there a way to use a calendar? So I'm sorry, I closed that question previously. I don't know who has raised that question. About some calendar it was. Can you please type that once again, please? Is there a way to use calendar dates? So calendar date in the sense like from the date you would like to use a calendar option, or I didn't get that question, Manikandan. So you would like to use a calendar date means if you have a data set with a calendar data you can use that, or is your question something like order date wherein you wanted to use it like a date calendar kind of? Is that what your question is? I think the question is profit per, but there will be a lot of days in which there will be no business. How do we get the business day? Okay, okay. So yeah, how to get the business days, friends? So basically there is something called a weekday, I believe, in calculation. So if you just go here, create a calculated field. So under date calculation, under date name, I believe. So date part, okay. So can you see here there is a day function which is there, Manigandan. So using this day or date function, basically what you can do is you can make use of this, and there has to be certain manipulations what we need to do. For example, the date name you need to take, and from that, for example, if the weekday, if it is a weekday, then what is that you need to do for a weekday? So maybe using a date part, I think you can retrieve that. So part start of a week is omitted. if startup, can you see here there is a week number option there for a date part or in a date name. There is an option which basically says you if you can mention it there. For example, Sunday returns the difference between the 2 days where the start date is subtracted from the end date. The difference is expressed in units of date part. If start of week is omitted, the week start day is determined by the start day configured for the data source. So here, if at all, I can mention the start date here, start of week, when it is. So in that, I would like to take the 5 days alone. I can just make use of that. Yeah, correct. We can use the date part function there, and we can get that. So whenever you are using that, you can make use of the date part, and there you will be able to get that. If a start of week is omitted, the week start day is determined by start day configured to the data source. So start of week is there for all the options, so you can mention that when your week has to be started. Okay. So now coming to this question, friends. So as you all told, this is going to be easy for you as we have seen already the tough problems. So I think this should be easy. See, we are taking the fixing the order date and we are taking the sum of profit. Okay. So based on the order date, we are getting the sum of profit. So and these are like the calculations what you all know. So here daily level makes it simple to write the logical statement. So if it is profit per day is greater than, so they're basically calculating the profit. So instead of profit per transaction here, we just write a calculation per day. So for example, I'm writing a fixed LOD expression. So in this, I'm taking profit per day. So what is the profit? So I'm fixing it based on my order date, and I'm saying my profit field. So here what is happening? My profit has been fixed here, friends. So this calculation, profit per day. So we are just having a calculation added here, profit per day, and we just use that here in this. So profit per day, what it is? It is like for this particular order, it is profit, actual profit that is showing per order date. Order date is showing 110, however profit per day is minus 481. Can you see the difference, friends? Why we are using this? And what is that? And the remaining things you know to do this. So you just need to create a calculation. When your profit per day is greater than 2000, then highly profitable. These things we have done enough. The only challenge there is to understand this LOD expression. And this is the LOD expression what you should use. So with this LOD expression, you can make use of this LOD expression and derive out the remaining calculations from here. You can just edit the calculations and make use of the LOD expressions directly from this. So this is the LOD expression, friends. You can make use of this. Are you all getting this, friends? Are you all understanding it? Is now the LOD somewhat comfortable than the previous thing? At least are you able to see, like, come out with an answer like, okay, so this means I need to use a fixed LOD. This means I need to use this LOD. At least now is that somewhat comfortable for you, friends? The LOD expression. Okay, so Manikandan wants to know why we are using fixed here. Okay, so Manikandan, if you see this question, if I am using any other LOD expression other than fixed here, what would be the result here? If I am using any other LOD expression other than fixed, so profit per day, why are we using fixed here? So instead of the fixed, let me change it to include. Include the order date and calculate the sum of profit. Can you see? What has happened? If I am using an include LOD expression, what is happening here, Manikandan? My profit per day is showing as my profit based on my order ID. So it is by default including my profit per day based on my order date also. However, my calculation here is totally changed now. If I am showing you the same calculation, the profit per day without using the fixed LOD expression, what is happening? So the fixed LOD expression here is making my view fixed. So whatever may be in my view, irrespective of my data which is there in the view, I can freeze my view based on my order date. My order date is nowhere in this picture. Have I used order date anywhere? Nowhere it is there. That is the advantage of using the fixed LOD expression. So that's why we are making use of fixed LOD here. So that was a very good question to understand. Hope everyone else got this, friends. Okay. So now you see my profit per day is coming. And the remaining modifications and beautifications, you know to do that. You just need to drag the sum of profits here and order days to this field and draw a bar graph and see what are the days in which my order is less than 0, greater than 0. So and you can just put it in a graph. Okay? You got this, friends, everyone? Okay. Now you tell me the answer for this one. This is going to be something very similar, but only thing you need to understand here is what LOD expression to use. The remaining things are like, so this is like a comparative sales. So what they are doing here is, they are basically having a parameter created. Okay. So whenever I am selecting one particular parameter, I would like to know if that parameter whatever selected, what is the comparative sales between that one and the others, what is there. So I think, okay, we have other 15 minutes time. I think we can go through this example, or let's go through the fourth one now. So this might take some time for you to get, so I'm just making the fourth example to you first, and then we'll take this. Okay. So this is the fourth one. What percentage of products are meeting their target profit in each state? So what percentage of products are meeting their target profit in every state? So here what we can use, friends. So what percentage of products are meeting their target profit in each state? So Kalpana is saying we can use include LOD for state. Jayashree is also saying the same. Why do you think we can use include LOD here, friends? Shweta is saying it's fixed. I want to show state in my view. He has mentioned each state, so you are saying it has to be the include. So how about others, friends, Manikandan and others? I want to use state in my LOD calculation. Okay. Okay, friends. So now let's see what LOD expression we can use for this. See, first thing what I need to know is, I need to know my profit and my target profit. These two numbers I should know. So first I need to find the difference between my profit and my target profit. That would be my first step. And after I'm finding out the difference between my profit and my target profit, so here I'll first find the difference between that and drop it in my colors. Based on my profit, it would be dropped in colors. Now, in order to count the number of products that are below target in each state, we need to find the difference between actual and target profit per product per state. So here profit and target broken down by state and product. When I am adding state and products to this would be my profit and this would be my target profit. So here what we need to do, we need to find the difference between my profit and my target profit, and I will be including the product here. Okay. So before seeing this example, let me first connect to the data source. So here we can't use the existing data source, friends, so we might have to use a different data source for this. I'm just adding a new data source. Add a new data source. I'm going to add an access data source here. So the access data source name is going to be, I think it's coffee chain, and data source samples. Do we have a data source? Module 4. Yeah. I have this coffee chain sample here, friends. So I'm just connecting to this access data source now. So I'm clicking on open this connection first. So let this connection get loaded. In the meantime, we will revisit the question once again. So here what are we going to see? What percentage of products are meeting their target profit in each state? That is my question. So first thing I need to know what is my profit and what is my target profit, and I need to know how many products are beating that within each state. So here what is my situation for using that include LOD? If you see that, let's see if this data set got connected. So I think I will take this product, drop it here, product type, and where do we have this? I think this one we should have the coffee chain query, should have the entire result. Budget, target profit, product type. So don't we have a target profit here? Profit is there, and there is something called, yeah. we have something called budget profit. We will take these two fields. Okay, we will take the profits and we will take the budget profit. Okay, so we will go to the sheet, and from this coffee chain superstore, I will be taking my profits and my budget profits. So now let's understand the question first. What percentage of products are meeting their target profit in each state? Here you need product, you need state, you need target profit and budget profit. Okay? These four things you need. So you need the product, you need the state, you need the product, you need the state, and you need the target profit. So that is the budget profit. You need profit and budget profit. You need the profit and budget profit. Okay. So for each and every state, there is a budgeted profit which comes over there. There is a profit and a budget profit comes. Okay. For every state, every individual state, we have something called profit and budgeted profit. Okay. So now what we need to do? We need to find the difference between my profit and my budgeted profit and divide it by percentage of total. Will I get my profit and budgeted profit? So I'm taking my state and product. Right? However, here one thing as friends, in this view there is a requirement. So I have my state, I have my product, my profit and target profit. So these four things I'm having here. Now, what is? So here there is a scenario for me. So I should not show the product in this view. I should not show the product in this view. However, my budgeted profit should include my product in this view. So my view should only, I have a business requirement that I need the state where my profit and budgeted profit, where my average, what is the difference between my profit and budgeted profit? Percentage is greater than some value. So assume that I am having a condition like this. So in this case, I cannot use a fixed LOD expression. What LOD expression I need to use it here for this particular scenario? What do you think I can use? So, are you getting me, friends? Money content, yeah, right. You should use include LOD expression here. So, based on my profit, I need to compute I need to include my state here. So, I'm going to create a calculated field. Okay. So, I'm saying profit LOD profit include so I'm having an LOD expression here, LOD profit include. So in this LOD profit include, what I'm going to use, I'm going to include okay. This include is not coming by default, I'm just opening it. Okay. So I'm saying include my product and you compute what? The difference between the sum of difference between my profit and my budgeted profit. So I need to find the difference between my sum of profit and my sum of budgeted profit, which should include, see, this is throwing an error. Let me check what that error is. Oh, okay. So since here there is an issue there with an access database, this LOD expression is not supported. So I think that's the reason why this is not supported for federated data sources. So for copy chain this is not supported, but this is a very different. You can just maybe I'll just have a field which is used for targeted profit. I'll create a new field and I can make use of that. But for this one, we cannot make use of this. So, but this is the LOD expression. Okay. So you understood now why we are using this include here, everyone. Okay. So now after I'm getting the difference between my sum of actual profit and targeted profit, now what I can do is I'll be taking it, dropping it there, and I will be right clicking it and creating one more condition there. So now the difference between my profit and the set level of profit is greater than 0. Then it is profitable. If it is less than 0, it is not profitable. So this is what I am doing. So the calculation whatever I have created, the budget profit and include LOD. So that what I need to do, I just need to write one more if and only if statement. So I need to write one more if and only if statement here. If and only if. So this is like if else. If and only if. I'll tell you the syntax of this. If and only if. Assume that I have created a calculated field. If my profit, difference between my actual and sum of profit, difference in profit. Assume that this field is there. So this field, difference in sum of profit, if and only if this is greater than 0, okay, then if it is greater than 0, I'll be returning something here. Either it can be a text or a number. If it is greater than 0, then you will return what? So I'm saying I'm returning it as 1. If it is 0, I'm returning it as 0. So this is something like an if-else condition. We can just, it's very similar to an if and only if. If you see the syntax of this, friends, if profit is greater than 0, then profit, else loss. So like that we can just write this expression there. Okay, so friends, this coffee chain sample, you cannot have it in some modules. I think you can download it online, friends, from public.tableau.com. You can download this coffee chain. You just search for coffee chain access database. If you are having access database installed in your system, You just check out for coffee chain active database, and you should be able to find that there. So you can download it online, friends, if it is not there. I don't think it is there in our modules. You can download it directly. Yeah. So now are we all getting this point, friends? So this one, what I am trying to say, why we are using this include LOD here, and so basically when it is greater than 0, it has to be displayed with a different color. They just added it in a color, and they are getting out this result there. So distinct count of products, number of products above target, number of products within the target. They are just getting that count here. Okay, so this is what we are making use of this, and we are able to see like how many items are above target, how many items are below the target, and how many are less than or equal to the target, like that. So this is for finding the percentage calculation. You can just put the percentage here, and percentage of total you can determine this. So this is something what I wanted to show it to you, friends. So this is an example of include LOD expression. Okay, you got it? So friends, we are supposed to see this third example alone, which we will see tomorrow, and with that we will be done with our LOD module, and we will go to module number 9 tomorrow. Okay friends, I think with this we can stop it here. If you are not having any questions, we can stop it with this. So friends, I wanted to know like how many of you are now comfortable with LOD, working with LOD expression. How many of you are, okay, I can do the LOD expressions, but it requires more practice. So I will share a couple of links. You go through that link, and yesterday's links, whatever I have sent you. So Samir is saying I'm 70% okay. Yeah, that's really good one, Samir, because understanding this concept at least 70%. This will really help you out, because this is not an easy thing to understand, unless until you already have a training program which is going on now, and you need to practice more. After you are practicing it well, friends, definitely this would be easy for you to go on. Okay, Hasani is very much comfortable with this. That's great to know, Hasani. That's nice. So how about others, friends? What is your comfort level with this LOD? I got the concept, but I need to practice more. This is what Lopita is saying. That's absolutely right, Lopita. So we require more practice. So you try out those scenarios. Whatever problems I solved today, you try it out at home. And there are assignments also. You try that during the assignments modules also. That point of time you will get to know. You should get the confusion. Which LOD to use? Why I am using this? Where to apply this? Everything you should get that confusion, then it will get resolved. Yeah. That's nice, Kalpana. So how about you, Manigandan? Is in the Education portal the source for the last problem? Even that was not working for me, Hasini. So like the source for this one was we were using sample coffee chain, but unfortunately LOD expressions are not supported in active database, so we cannot use coffee chain sample there. So what I would say is for you, you can download this data source from online. So there is a coffee chain sample source that is available online. You can just download it from there. Okay. Okay, that's fine, Shantini. So as you get used to this is not going to be that difficult. As you know, the syntax, that is the syntax is the only thing what you need to know. The remaining all things are about the logic, friends, so you need not worry. Okay. So, that should be fine. So how about creating calculated field with difference and then apply include on that? So yeah. So Manikandan, this example, what we can do is, I think that this will work the other way. So what Manikandan is saying here is, friends, take this budgeted profit. Okay. So create a calculation on top of this. So difference in sum. Difference. That's right, Manikandan. This is the right approach to. You will take the difference between the profit and your budgeted profit. So you just need to create a calculation like this. Okay. Now what we need to do? Now we can create an LOD expression with include. This will not throw an error. So now what we can do is, we can just fix the include the state here. This should work fine, friends. So if you are creating a calculation, first computing the difference and then doing this should work for you. This LOD include state. So I am just including the state. So in this case, let's see if this is working. I am not sure because include is not enabled here. So I don't think even this will work here for the source Manikandan. So I thought it should work, but including the state and computing the sum of difference there, I think this should throw an error as well. Can you see here? Level of detail expressions are not supported by federated data sources. So this will not work in that case also. So it is the issue with the data source, friends. So you just understand the concept for now. So it's not mandatory that you should do that. So this is fine. It doesn't apply with the federated or legacy data sources. This doesn't work. Okay. So there I can find the meaning of different brackets because I'm not from technical. Okay. So further I will just tell you in simple words. For all calculations, for any calculation, Sagar, so since it's a kind of thing, it is always going to be normal brackets. So normal brackets is this. This is the bracket what we will be using on all calculations. Okay. For LOD calculations alone, you will be using this bracket. So the remaining all is the normal brackets. For LOD alone, you will be using the curly brace bracket. Okay, so these are only two brackets that are there, so you do not get confused. It's very simple. For all calculations, it's normal brackets, and for LOD alone, it is square bracket. Sorry, the flower bracket. Okay, friends. Any other questions? Any other questions you have? So if you don't get understand anything, you please tell it to me now itself, friends, because that's more easy. I can also know like what is the reason you didn't understand, or I can repeat that again, or I can change the way I'm saying. So maybe if you can let me know immediately, so there's absolutely no issues in that. Okay, friends. Then if you are not having any other questions, I think we can stop the session with this, and let's continue the module 9 tomorrow. So based on the completion of module 9 tomorrow, I will let you know how many extra classes are required for us. Okay? Yes. So friends, from this link you can find the coffee chain sample .xls. Might be useful for others. So maybe you can just take this. Hasini has shared this sample, friends, so please make use of this. Thank you, Hasini, for researching it out. and taking it in an Excel format. Thank you, Hasani, and thank you, Shantini, for that. Yeah, Sagar, that's absolutely fine. You are understanding the business scenario of that, then that's really great. You have crossed 80%. So just understanding the calculation is 20% only, so that's not a big deal. So we have class tomorrow, friends. So we are having class tomorrow. Okay. Thank you, Kalpana. Thank you, Samir. Jai Shri. Thank you, Manigandan. Thank you, Love, Sagar, Shweta. Thank you, Lopita, Prasad. Thanks everyone. You all have a great day there. See you all. Bye bye. See you. Thank you, Hasani.